So, speaking of dumb fucking people, Tom.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Let's talk about Louie Gohmert.
Gohmert.
Let's talk about Go Get It Gohmert. Here we go.
Oh,
so,
my
this
God.
is Louie Gohmert. And let me play this. I know, right?
Ian, why are you being dismissive of this wonderful man? This is one of our illustrious Congress people. He is in charge.
I just want to say
a little respect.
This is Louie Gohmert
Sorry.
getting ready to talk about climate change.
Yes.
And he's talking to someone about, when he says BLM, that's the Bureau of Land Management. So he's saying that, and then I forget what the
Forestry Service.
Forestry Service. So those are the two acronyms I think he's using. So let's watch this.
Oh, really?
Are people able to hear this now, Ian? Is it better for them?
I think it's still a little quiet, but I did boost it.
Okay, all
everybody, let me know if it's way too quiet.
Ian, do this like CSI. Enhance.
Yeah.
Enhance. Enhance.
I'm enhancing, but
Here we go.
Muted. Is it Eberline, Mr. Klein? Is that correct pronunciation? Do you justice?
Thank you. Yes, it's Eberline.
Okay, thank you. Well, are any of the proposals in the bills that are being discussed today, do they appear to be redundant?
Hold on. I might have to find this.
Are we a little off?
I think I'm a
They're
little off. I'm
not
sorry.
redundant.
I got
There
to
we go.
find
It should reset. I think it just reset itself to 116.
Is it 116?
I think.
yeah, it looked like it was too loud too. I turned it down. It was the Ohio shit was garbage.
Here we go.
And I understand
118.
from what's been testified to the Forest Service and the BLM, you want very much to work on the issue of climate change. I was informed by the immediate past director of NASA that they have found that the moon's orbit is changing slightly, and so is the Earth's orbit around the sun.
That's true.
We know there's been significant solar flare activity. And so is there anything?
Can I just stop for a second and just say how anxious every one of these guys is to not blame humans for this?
Yeah.
And what's the worst that happens if humans get blamed? If you suddenly take responsibility for it, as a humanity takes responsibility for it and tries to change a little, what's the worst that happens? We get cleaner air and water.
Well, see, so he's from Texas. He's from Texas.
He is from
so
Texas.
He would lose all his oil revenue.
Yeah.
This is like, lest you ever imagine this is about anything other than revenue.
Anything other.
He's from Texas. Like, Houston smells like a refinery because Houston's a giant stink refinery. There's no reason for it to exist.
Yeah.
Like, huge parts of Texas are only powerful, and Texas is really powerful because they have an enormous amount of oil refineries and oil money.
Yeah.
These guys are terrified of the Green Revolution because they imagine themselves to be left out of it. And I think about that. It's like, what a crisis of fucking imagination this is. Texas still has an enormous amount of sunshine, wind, and open land. You guys should be like a bastion for clean energy. They would be like an awesome place, I would think, to have solar farms and wind farms. But instead they're like, well, we already got our thing.
Yeah.
And that's like, we're into the pollution racket. You know what I mean? I'm heavy into the pollution.
Got to make sure these couple of guys that pay me to get in here.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they want to blame everything else. And so they will reach out to all these other things that could possibly influence climate.
Right.
And that's what they're going to try to poke it on.
Also, real quick, the moon is tides, motherfucker. Like, the tides, I guess I'm not a climate scientist, but like, if the tides change, does that affect global fucking warming?
I think that they were saying in this article, there's a part where they do talk about how there could be some effect based on that. But they said it's the opposite. So something with, because the planet either heats up or cools down, it slows. Okay,
I can.
So there's something with it heating up and cool.
Okay.
I'm not smart enough to know.
Sure.
Right? So here's the thing. I'm not going to pretend I know, but Louie Gohmert's too stupid to just tap out. Like, he's too dumb to tap out. And here we go. We're going to watch it.
That the National Forest Service or BLM can do to change the course of the moon's orbit or the Earth's orbit around the sun. Obviously, that would have profound effects on our climate.
I think, you might have called this that he's being disingenuous.
Yeah, I think it's a dishonest question.
You think he's trying to, you think he's not this stupid. What he's trying to do is be like, well, that's what they say it is. Can you do anything about that, stupid?
Right. I think he's saying like the bigger effect would be if we adjusted the Earth's orbit or reduced the solar flares. So why are you, the Forestry Service, going to work on climate change when it comes from solar flares? You're going to fix solar flares? You're going to grow a tree so big that it touches the sun? Forest Service. Well, the thing is that no matter how dishonest this is, if it's an honest question, it's a spectacularly stupid. But if it's a dishonest question, it's just as stupid a question.
No, man. Like fucking Trump genuinely asked if you could stick disinfectant up your hoo-ha.
He also wanted to bomb a hurricane.
He did.
Let's not forget. So here's some things Trump suggested. Rake the forest.
Yeah.
Bomb a hurricane. Yeah. Put sunlight in your COVID bits.
So the reason why I say that is because, if you think about Trump as sort of a barometer for the Republican Party, this is not outside of the realm of that.
I guess that's true.
This isn't outside of the realm, but I think you're right. I think what he's trying to say is he's asking an absurd question so that he can point out the absurdity of climate change.
Right. I do think that that's where he's leaning. The problem is that it's a fucking laughing stock question.
Yeah. It's a stupid.
It's a laughing stock question. Even if that was true, it'd be like, wow, okay, so if there's other factors we can't control working to heat up the planet, we should do more to control the things we can do. It'd be like if your mortgage was going to go up 40% and there was nothing you could do. You'd be like, well, I guess I shouldn't control any of my other expenses. No, asshole. Yeah, right. You should if one thing gets worse, you shouldn't be like, well, I broke my leg. I guess I shouldn't break my arm. What?
Look, I have a Tesla habit. There's nothing I can do about that.
God, I fucking hate people.
He's not talking about Black Lives Matter, right?
No.
Bureau
of Land Management. It's Bureau of Land Management, BLM. He's definitely not talking about Black Lives Matter.
I was confused.
The only way he's going to talk. The only way he's going to talk about Black Lives Matter is if he's holding up his fingers and hissing at it. Are you kidding me? That guy's a fucking horrible, horrible person.